We are tracking showers and even one lone lightning strike just in the past few minutes here inside the perimeter. We're analyzing whether we'll see additional showers moving through tonight and into tomorrow.
It's time for swift changes to occur at the Fulton County Detention Center.
Plus, an inmate allegedly eaten alive. We are getting a new look at how LaShawn Thompson allegedly died, along with a call for action.
And we go one-on-one with Senator Raphael Warnock to learn how he's trying to ensure insulin users are not taken for granted.
11 Alive News at 5 p.m. starts now.
First at 5, we're bringing you breaking news out of Midtown Atlanta. We know at least 4 people have been injured after a crane collapsed inside of a building that's currently under construction.
Let's get you right out to 11 Alive's Joe Ripley there on the scene. Joe, what can you tell us?
Well, right now, Atlanta police have blocked off West Peachtree at 11th Street. They've also blocked off Spring Street at 10th. And you can see here construction crews along with firefighters and first responders outside of this building under construction where firefighters were called earlier this afternoon. Atlanta Fire saying part of a crane collapsed between the 9th and 10th floors of this very building, set to become condos of some sort. It caused some heavy damage inside the building, destroying balconies behind us. Captain Michael Roman with Atlanta Fire Rescue says 4 people had minor injuries and were taken to Grady Hospital. Fire crews, meantime, had to evacuate 4 buildings out of precaution, including an apartment where folks are still waiting to get back inside their homes. Roman says engineers, safety crews, and OSHA are now expected to investigate what led up to this crane collapse.
The crane is attached to the structure, which is normal for construction of this type, and became unstable. And due to the nature, we shut down operations. The construction site had all evacuation for 1 block radius.
And coming up at 6, you'll hear from witnesses who described what they said happened, some of them saying this was earth-shattering. Hear from them next hour, but for now, firefighters urge anyone in the area to avoid it, as this area could be shut down for several hours.
All right, Joe, thank you so much for that updated information. By the way, you can stay up to date with the very latest information on this breaking news and any other breaking news when it happens when you download our 11 Alive app. It's free for you in the App Store. Right now, we are learning new details about the death of LaShawn Thompson. The 35-year-old man was an inmate at the Fulton County Jail and was found dead last September. Just hours ago, we learned about a private autopsy delivered to Thompson's family, which says his body was covered in bed bugs when he died.
Yeah, Jennifer, we remember those photos that came out. Many of you probably remember it as well. It says this autopsy says that he also died from an irregular heartbeat caused by dehydration, rapid weight loss, and untreated schizophrenia. 11 Alive's Doug Richards has more.
Advocates say the release of the new information fuels calls for jail reform and for Fulton County to get serious about compensating monetarily the family of LaShawn Thompson.
This is inexcusable. This should have never happened in any jail in America.
Though LaShawn Thompson's body was found in the Fulton County Jail covered with lice and bed bugs, an autopsy commissioned by his family says it was cardiac arrhythmia that likely killed him, caused by rapid weight loss, dehydration, and schizophrenia untreated by the jail staff.
It's criminal negligence. Somebody has to be held accountable for this. Somebody needs to account to this family.
Fulton Sheriff Patrick Labatt has said the jail's chronic overcrowding, the county's inability to fully staff the jail, and years of disrepair has created an ongoing crisis inside the Northwest Atlanta lockup. But aside from reforming or rebuilding the jail, advocates say Fulton County owes a monetary settlement to Thompson's family.
Who's responsible? Whose duty was it to make sure my nephew came out alive?
But like all Georgia counties, Fulton is protected in court by sovereign immunity. It means counties can't easily be sued for injury or wrongful death claims. It also protects county employees. There are exceptions, but they are rare.
93 days my nephew was in jail and didn't come out alive.
That's among the things motivating attorneys to turn this into a political issue, to get the attention of county commissioners who would have to approve a monetary settlement for Thompson's family.
We must make this family whole. This cannot happen in Fulton County.
Fulton officials agree that jail reform is needed. The costs are the hard part, as is the cost of a monetary settlement for LaShawn Thompson's family. In downtown Atlanta, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
Well, some of us have been dodging showers out there today, so let's get you right to our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, to see if there's any more rain on the way, Chris.
Yeah, Jennifer, right now the showers are right on top of the city of Atlanta. The heaviest of this rain is just inside the perimeter here. It just moved north of Hartsfield-Jackson, now south of I-20 here. Again, inside the perimeter near East Point over toward Gresham Park. We have some moderate shower activity there that's generally lifting up to the north a little bit. We'll keep watching some of these showers that are really confined here to Atlanta, stretching out I-20 into parts of Douglas County, mainly light showers there, a little bit of moderate activity. We did have a lightning strike here on the west side just a little bit earlier, but other than that, we haven't seen any additional thunderstorm activity here with this, and there's not a lot of it out there. Just know tonight during the evening hours, we have the potential for a couple of those off and on showers around. Here's a live look at 285 and Georgia 400, where we did have a little bit of rain that came through a little bit earlier. Traffic not big time impacted by that right now. Here's what to expect for the rest of the evening hours. We have a couple of those showers around now. Temperatures may go up a couple of degrees by 7 o'clock to 71, then pretty much in the 60s this evening. A little better chance for showers late tonight, overnight, and into tomorrow morning. We'll let you know how long those are going to linger tomorrow. More on that in just a few minutes.
We look forward to it, Chris. Thank you so much. And now to continuing coverage of a murder in Jackson County of Calvin Varnum. Police say someone shot and killed the man who was just standing on the sidewalk in front of a Hardee's in Commerce. And just hours ago, the man arrested in this case, 23-year-old Xavier Clark, first made his appearance in a Jackson County courtroom. He's facing several charges, including murder. During a brief hearing, the judge denied Clark bond, and tonight he remains in the Jackson County jail. No word yet on his next court hearing. And meanwhile, those who knew Varnum held a vigil last night at that Hardee's where he was shot to death to honor his memory. We spoke to his cousin, who's left wondering, why would someone do this? And now those in Commerce are struggling to grapple with not seeing him around the community.
I was like, no, this could not happen to Calvin. Because Calvin don't bother nobody. He wouldn't harm nobody.
Even though we may not have known him on a personal level, we knew his smile, we knew his wave, we knew what he brought was joy. And I think all of us as a community are just going to grieve and mourn that.
Yeah, this is something that we have been on top of since it first broke yesterday. For the very latest, you can head over to 11alive.com.
There are new details tonight about a deadly crash last week in Marietta. It happened 1 week ago today, and now police say they are bringing felony charges against one of the drivers. Tonight, 66-year-old Lynn McTire is charged with homicide by vehicle in the first degree. Police say she is the at-fault driver in a multiple vehicle crash that took the life of 54-year-old Crystal Norris. It happened last Monday on Cobb Parkway just south of Terrell Mill Road, shutting down things there for hours. In addition to homicide by vehicle, McTire faces 7 other charges, including DUI, reckless driving, and driving with a suspended or revoked license. Happening now, Atlanta police asking for your help tonight identifying this man wanted for armed robbery. It happened earlier this month at the Exxon gas station on Metropolitan Parkway near University Avenue. You can see the man hitting one of the coin machines with a sledgehammer there. He's one of 2 suspects. An employee at the gas station says they tried to call 911, but one of the men pointed a gun at them and demanded money. The suspects left with $1,000 in cash. Anyone with information is asked to please contact Crime Stoppers. There is a $2,000 reward up to that amount for information leading to an arrest. There's a scam warning tonight for Hispanic families living in Douglas County. So take a look here at your screen. Deputies say this man is identifying himself as Angel Otir Morales, but they say that's not his real name. They say he is using the fake identity to scam people by selling vehicles that he does not have the right to sell. Deputies say he is targeting Hispanic members of the community. So if you know him, if you can identify him, you're asked to please contact the Douglas County Sheriff's Office.
And happening today, a new partnership has been announced that will help bring some extra security to Atlanta businesses. So what this is It's called the Buckhead Safety Alliance. It's going to put off-duty Atlanta police officers on active patrol with the goal of making these specific commercial districts just a little bit safer. Today, APD Chief Darren Shearbaum joined other civil leaders outside the West Paces Ferry Shopping Center to promote this program. They also touched on how response times to crimes are expected to be much faster.
As people come to this area to shop in the many vibrant shops and restaurants that we have, we always want to be mindful of car break-ins that may be occurring. So just the mere visibility of the officers will be a deterrent to that. If we do see suspicious activity or a crime in progress, they'll be right there to respond.
So what you're taking a look at are the 5 stretches of road which will be patrolled by this alliance. They'll be using fully equipped police vehicles donated by the Atlanta Police Foundation, and these officers will have full arrest powers. There is a cost here, $450,000, and in order to get the project off of the ground. Right now, there is enough to cover the cost for this year, but alliance organizers say they're looking for donations to keep it funded in the future. And just hours ago, Senator Raphael Warnock met with a group of medical leaders here in Atlanta, pushing his new Affordable Insulin Act that would cap the monthly out-of-pocket cost for insulin at $35 for all users, including those that don't have any insurance. 11
Alive's Brittany Kleinpeter joined the senator as he toured Southside Medical. She has an update on where things stand with his efforts.
Senator Warnock's visit comes as several major insulin makers announced they will be capping the cost of their drug for all users, while the senator is working on a piece of legislation that would require them to do so.
I think what you're seeing with the cost of insulin going down is the importance of having both good public policy and private sector engagement.
Senator Warnock taking credit after 3 major insulin makers announced they will cap the cost of their medicine.
They see the handwriting on the wall. I would argue that they're lowering the cost is a direct result of my work.
Just 2 months ago, the senator introduced the Affordable Insulin Now Act that would cap the price for all patients to $35 for a 30-day supply. The legislation comes after the Inflation Reduction Act was passed, which capped the cost for seniors on Medicaid but left millions of others paying high prices.
This is not a partisan issue, it's a human issue.
Critics have argued that major drug companies are lowering costs due to a Medicaid rebate policy that will slide into effect next year, coupled with inflation. But the senator says this has been years in the making, and the fight isn't over.
So I'm not about to give up on this fight. Quite frankly, it's a political fight of a decade ago.
The senator met with physicians and insulin users during his visit to Southside Medical Monday. During a roundtable, he promised that he would continue to fight to get all Georgians out of the coverage gap. In downtown Atlanta, Brittany Kleinpeter, 11 Alive News.
Millions of people nationwide are expected to take a vacation this Memorial Day weekend. We are breaking down how Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport is getting ready for what's to come.
And hailing an Uber is no longer just for adults. We'll explain how teenagers can now call for their own rideshare.
Right now, the busiest airport in the world is gearing up for one of the busiest travel times of the year and the kickoff, at least unofficially, to summer travel.
Oh yeah, a lot of people excited for that. Tracy A. McPeer joins us live from Hartsfield-Jackson. But what travelers need to know.
Well, TSA and airport officials in just the past few hours told me that right now the airport is breaking travel records from before the pandemic, and they're expecting more than 2 million passengers to fly through Atlanta this week, kicking off summer travel.
Irritating, frustrating, don't like standing in line.
Kristen Sandler says traveling this time of year starts to get too crowded. Gregory Green says the same thing.
Absolutely. I don't want to be in that rush. That's a lot of people going around.
TSA held a press conference at the airport on Monday about the expected uptick in travel, confirming travel is officially back and busier than ever, especially in Atlanta. In fact, between Thursday, May 25th and Wednesday, May 31st, 2 million passengers will fly through Hartsfield-Jackson. But there are tips to keep in mind to get to your destination on time. First, get to the airport 2 hours early. have a parking plan. Here in Atlanta, the North Deck is still under construction, but Park and Ride has now added 1,200 new spots. Travel on less busy days. This week, that would be any day besides Thursday, Friday, and Monday. Have your ID ready. And finally, remove contraband items before you get in line. So far, more than 2,400 guns have been intercepted by TSA nationwide. Every time that happens, the line slows down. Now, if you're traveling and you realize you have a firearm, TSA says your best two options are you can either take it out and pack it away in your checked baggage if you have the right case, or you can call someone to come to the airport and meet you and pick it up.
The only way for a teen to compliantly ride Uber right now, it's through this new feature.
Today, Uber launched a way for underage teens in Atlanta to ride safely. It's called Teen Accounts. So right now, Atlanta is one of the few cities to launch this feature. It gives parents full transparency as their child uses Uber. To launch, parents can invite their teen to create a specialized account on the Uber app. This allows teens to request rides with parental supervision. Now, with the feature, parents now have access to real-time notifications and updates on Uber rides, driver identification, and ride pairing information based on a driver's level of experience.
That driver needs to have a certain tenure and have had already hundreds of trips in their history, and also have constantly positive ratings and feedback from users in order to be eligible for that teen trip.
To learn more about the new Uber feature here in Atlanta, you can head over to our website, 11alive.com, for more information.
We are still keeping an eye on those showers that are right over the city of Atlanta right now. The heaviest of this is really just south of I-20 and north of the south end of the perimeter here, just north of Hartsfield-Jackson. That's where we have more of those moderate showers. I mentioned earlier we did have one lone lightning strike a little bit earlier. You may have seen that or heard the rumble of thunder from that. Otherwise, these are just general showers. We don't see anything severe out of this at all, but it's giving a pretty good rain here. Again, over the city of Atlanta. Here's I-20. They're just on the south side, East Point, over toward Gresham Park, Belvedere Park, getting in on some of that as well. This is just north of Forest Park as well. And you can see how this is moving generally up toward the north. Really, these on the south side not moving that much, just a little bit of a drift up to the north here. A few other showers over on the west side in parts of West Fulton County, over into parts of Douglas County. A couple of other showers here in South Cobb as well, North Fulton, getting in on some of that. And a few more showers here on the south side trying to feed into that. But as you can see, it's not a widespread coverage of rain out there right now. We're just talking about a few of those spotty showers. Now, even though the rain just moved in over Hartsfield-Jackson a little while ago, you can see that the runways and taxiways are wet, but we don't have any delays right now officially out of Hartsfield-Jackson. Still check, you may want to call ahead to your specific airline just to make sure everything's looking better. And right now at Truist Park, we've got the tarp on the field as we've had some showers move through there right now. We do think this game will be able to be played tonight. I don't think this would be a rain out, but maybe a couple of delays possible. In fact, we're calling for just that low rain chance at first pitch tonight. Temperatures around 71 and 70 at 8, then falling into the upper 60s here for 9 and 10 o'clock. And again, maybe just a couple of off and on light showers during the game. And look where we see that rain. This is where we also have the cooler air. 66 in Atlanta, 65 in Peachtree City. But look at Rome and Dalton, Northwest Georgia. You're just a few degrees away from 80 right now. It's 77 degrees now in Rome and also the Dalton area. Tomorrow, we're going to go with the 5 on the wasometer on our scale from 1 to 11, where an 11 would be a perfect 11 alive day. Highs near 70, but we will see a better chance for showers, and that's mainly going to be the earlier part of the day. You can see tonight a couple of those showers around. Tomorrow morning, pretty good coverage of showers around at lunchtime as well. By afternoon, we're thinking that'll start tapering off a little bit, and then heading into the middle of the week, things are going to start looking a little bit better. By Wednesday, highs near 77 with partly cloudy skies. Thursday looks like the best day of the week. We'll give that a 10 on the wasometer. Mostly sunny and a high of 82. And then I know you see some rain chances here, but they're low for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 20% heading into the Memorial Day weekend. And on Memorial Day, looking like a 9 on the wasometer with high temperatures back up to around 83.
Coming up, our Maria Martin catching up with a former Bulldog who missed out on a national championship while in Athens, but this month finally became a champion. Well, this time of year, there may not be any NFL games, but there is still professional football being played out there. The XFL Championship featured a few former Georgia Bulldogs aiming for their first championship rings.
Yeah, Brian Herrien helped Arlington win it all in the XFL, but he's never forgotten about that 2018 national title game. Maria Martin has more on how that motivated him on the professional stage.
It felt good. I mean, the energy pumping through me that whole game was unreal.
Former Georgia running back Brian Herrien just helped the Arlington Renegades win the XFL Championship. They beat the DC Defenders, a team he spent the majority of the year with.
I just felt like we wanted it more, but it felt good. I was yelling at my teammates, my old teammates, the coaches. I'm yelling, telling them, man, it was just amazing. I still got the bad taste in my mouth from 2017.
The 2018 National Championship has stuck with Herrien ever since the final moments inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
I was standing on the 30-yard line, and when he threw the ball, I just looked up, and then I looked down, and he was only down there by himself. I just shook my head, and then the confetti.
Before he even caught it,
yeah,
you shook your head.
Before he caught it, I just shook my head. And then when he caught it, the confetti went up, and I was still standing there, and all the confetti was on the ground, and I was like, I think it's a flag down here. Y'all got to pick the confetti up. And I stood there for a little minute, though.
Even though you never won a national championship at Georgia, you won an SEC championship. You know what it's like to work as a championship caliber player. How much did that help you when it came to the XFL?
Man, it helped a lot. And it helped me, of course, but it helped me help my teammates. When I got to the Arlington team, people would be walking from period to period, and I told them, like, I'm not used to this. Like, everywhere I ever been, we run from drill to drill. We work hard every day, and we strain every play for the whole play. So I had to get my teammates and my coaches on this same thing. And once we got on there, we just started rolling.
All right, coming up, it's estimated that 1 in 8 children are facing hunger right now. Still ahead on 11 Alive News at 5. Find out how one Metro Atlanta nonprofit will try to keep kids fed this summer.
And the clock is ticking as President Joe Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy meet to negotiate raising the nation's debt ceiling. The latest on these high-stake talks when we return.
Right now, we're staying on top of that breaking news we first brought you at the top of the hour. 4 people hurt after a crane collapsed in Midtown Atlanta.
Yeah, the good news here, everyone is accounted for and police are calling the injuries minor. This was the scene in just the last few hours on West Peachtree Street, right near the Steam House Lounge. The collapse happened at an apartment building under construction, and we know 11 people were affected. 4 were taken to Grady Hospital for treatment. Police say the crane collapsed due to some sort of weight issue, and they evacuated 4 other buildings in that area because it's still unstable.
Also tonight, the independent autopsy results are in for a man who died in custody at the Fulton County Jail. You're looking at LaShawn Thompson. He died back in September, found covered in sores and bed bugs. Today, his attorney said he died from, quote, criminal negligence, citing a mix of dehydration, rapid weight loss, malnutrition, and untreated schizophrenia as the cause of his death.
Police in Commerce have now made an arrest in the shooting death of a 72-year-old man. Tonight, 23-year-old Xavier Clark is in custody. He's accused of shooting and killing Calvin Varnum early yesterday morning outside of the Hardee's on Homer Road. Officers say the two had some sort of conversation before the suspect shot Varnum several times. Varnum was a beloved member of his community, known for walking around town and waving to folks who drove by. So far, there is no word on a possible motive.
Some areas getting some pretty good rain right now, specifically just on the south side here between I-20 and the south end of the perimeter. That's where we have some of these moderate showers, a little bit of heavy activity in some spots. I mentioned earlier we've had one lone lightning strike a little bit earlier, if you heard a little bit of thunder there on the west side. A couple of other showers here down to the south of us in parts of Clayton County, down into Fayette County, stretching over into Henry County. This is generally drifting up toward the north, but as you know, these showers on the south side haven't really moved move that much. It's just a good coverage of moderate rain there, and the city of Atlanta getting in on some of that too. And you can see how they've just been generally trying to move up to the north, but as these are pretty much stationary, they're pretty much going to rain themselves out. Some additional showers were over Truist Park a little bit earlier there on the north end. Not a lot of showers on the north side, but as you can see, just spotty activity here and there. A few more of that to the south. That'll keep feeding in. So just be aware tonight of the potential this evening of a couple of off and on showers and then rain chances going up overnight. Here's our time lapse looking down on the city of Atlanta from Midtown. You can see some of the clouds that we had around us today, but at times a little bit of sunshine was able to come through. And then you can see here late this afternoon as some of this rain moved right in over us here at Midtown, right there, and on the downtown area just a little bit earlier to kind of make things wet for folks as they're driving home. We don't expect any severe weather out of that. The severe weather risk is mainly down into South Georgia, where there's a level 1 risk that extends down into the Florida Panhandle, parts of southern Alabama as well in that level 1 risk. And then for tomorrow, we've got that wedge still. Temperatures are going to be cool. We'll struggle to get up to 70 degrees. We'll have a better chance for showers, but we're not expecting any scattered showers or any thunderstorm activity here. Then as you look out to the west, you see some more storms out into Texas, but that's not going to move our way too. We're going to be dry here on Wednesday. Conditions actually improving much more for Wednesday and for Thursday. So here's the timeline. You can see tonight we'll have just a couple of spotty showers here and there during the evening hours. More of those showers overnight. Plan on a wet drive into work early tomorrow morning. Mainly light stuff here. A little bit heavier rain shower activity out in parts of West Georgia and over into Alabama. Then on Tuesday at lunchtime, still some of those showers should start tapering off later on in the afternoon. And then as we go into Wednesday, we will see the clouds clearing out, a little more sunshine, and things drying out here for the middle of the week. Take a look now, and you can see what we're watching here with the 7-day outlook. You've got that higher rain chance Tuesday, drying out Wednesday. Thursday looks good, mostly sunny, back up to 82. And then low rain chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as we go through the Memorial Day holiday weekend, only at a 20% chance. Right now, Monday looking good for Memorial Day and warmer, highs up to 83.
Well, right now there is plenty of focus on these two locations in Washington, D.C. As you look live on the U.S. Capitol and the White House, the discussions grind on over the government's debt limit. Today, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy are meeting to try to find a way to compromise and keep the country from defaulting on its bills.
But with the deadline only days away, many everyday Americans, from the military to senior citizens, are hoping that they don't see their paychecks go away. NBC's Alice Barr is on Capitol Hill, where negotiations are still ongoing.
In a head-to-head meeting today at the White House, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy drilling down on a debt ceiling deal just 10 days before the nation could tip into a catastrophic default.
What we have to do here is get the spending addiction to stop. It has caused so much pain to the American people.
The talks follow what McCarthy termed a productive call on Sunday. President Biden sounding optimistic. While overseas at the G7 summit, he insisted the U.S. will not default on its loans, though neither would he bend to all Republican demands.
It's time for Republicans to accept that there is no bipartisan deal to be made solely on their partisan terms.
Republicans want to roll back overall spending to pre-pandemic levels and extend Trump-era tax cuts that could add more than $3 trillion to the deficit. White House negotiators on Capitol Hill today trying to break the logjam after Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen called June 1st
a hard deadline
for when the nation could start running out of money to pay its bills, including things like Social Security benefits and military pay. Everyday Americans anxiously awaiting a resolution.
We as Americans get into trouble when we don't pay our bills. So I don't want the country to get into trouble.
As their leaders race for common ground.
Even once a deal is reached, it has to get through the full House and Senate. On the far right, the House Freedom Caucus is putting pressure on Speaker McCarthy to extract deep spending cuts, while on the left, the White House risks losing progressives if those cuts go too far. From Capitol Hill, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Warmer temperatures mean time to lather on that sunscreen, but is there a more natural option for protecting your skin? We've got the answer for you coming up. May is Women's Health Month, and our team is looking into racial disparities in healthcare, including why Black women are more likely to suffer fibroids than white women. Tonight at 6:30 on 11 Alive Plus, we speak to two women about their journeys with fibroids and how they were able to find relief. We also sit down with a doctor who explains why women get fibroids and the treatments available right here in Atlanta. Again, tonight's Black Women and Fibroids special airs at 6:30 p.m. on 11 Alive Plus. The app is free to anyone with Roku or Amazon Fire TV devices. You can scan that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen to download. The last week of school is underway for many families across Metro Atlanta, and that means summer break is almost here. But families are struggling to make ends meet, and for them, summertime meals and those programs that help provide assistance are often a way to keep their children from going hungry.
Yeah, locally, preparations are already in place for what's anticipated to be an increase in need for those meals this summer. 11 Alive's Karis Belger has the latest details.
The Atlanta Community Food Bank has seen a 40% increase in need over the last 18 months. That number is expected to grow once school is out for the summer.
Our partners that provide food for us that needs to be sorted, every day, 7 days a week, our volunteers come in and help us sort that food.
Kenny Hill, the chief supply chain officer at the Atlanta Community Food Bank, says food insecurity across the state of Georgia has steadily increased.
And we're there to try to help stabilize a little bit and fill in the gap. Really rely on our donors, our corporate partners to donate food.
Combine that with the recent period of high gas prices and the expiration of extended federal SNAP benefits, and he says more families have turned to the food bank and its partners for help. The warehouse packed high today with orders for various food pantries. Atlanta Community Food Bank CEO Kyle Wade says it's expensive to keep things going.
We're spending close to $2 million every month right now just to buy food. And that is up, 4 times what we were doing prior to the pandemic.
Feeding America estimates 1 in 8 Georgia children are facing hunger. Chris Miner with the Gwinnett County's annual Summer Meals program can help.
We still think we'll serve about 180,000 meals this year.
Miner says the need for meal assistance skyrocketed during the pandemic, then dipped, but it's rising again.
Food security is still a priority in Gwinnett County.
Gwinnett County will have 21 sites for free meal distribution over the summer, beginning May 31st. That will continue through August 2nd. Karis Belger, 11 Alive News.
Well, coming up, some graduates from one Metro Atlanta high school are getting their diplomas with a faithful 4-legged companion. We are sharing the story of a much-loved therapy dog. That's in just a moment.
It's looking a little soggy in some spots here on our tower cams, and you can see on radar where we have that concentration of rain right on Atlanta and over on the west side. We're tracking whether or not we'll see additional showers for your drive into work tomorrow morning.
It is graduation night at Lambert High School. The kids lining up right about now to walk across that stage, and many of them will be walking with a therapy dog who has become a huge part of their success.
Yeah, but Caitlin Ross reports for them to succeed first, he had to fail.
Here we go. Heel. This pup is at the top of his class at Lambert High. He's graded not on writing or algebra. He's earning his degree in love.
The love, the friendship, the camaraderie. Start at the beginning.
Being with the kids is his calling, but turns out what to call him is a trick question.
He said its name is Duck. I was like, Duck?
Duck the dog is making a new name for himself at Lambert High.
He had failed out of duck hunting school, and he just failed little. He failed miserably, like wouldn't fetch, wouldn't retrieve.
But that failure isn't a sore subject in this class.
Failure, more than not, leads to success.
It's a chance to learn something new.
He knows come, and he knows this is sit, and then I tell Duck heel.
Duck, speak.
Duck has taught as much as he's learned in class.
When I feel calm or something, when Duck gets around me.
Come here, Ducky. Duck supports all the students in Ms. Nicoletti's specialized instruction class.
Yes, Good job.
But he always wants to sit next to Alyssa.
She's completely bonded with him, and he her.
Their bond is strong even outside the classroom, like when Alyssa landed in the ICU and needed help getting out of bed.
Her mom asked, look, if I got Duck in here, will you walk? And she said yes.
When her dad died last year and she really needed a friend.
Sometimes when I'm like upset about something, he lets come by me. So they go, are you okay?
With Duck's support, Alyssa is learning what she wants to do after graduation.
She said she wanted to work with dogs for a living, and with her transition plan, we're like, we've got dogs.
Duck, heel.
Alyssa used her training with Duck to get certified as a therapy dog handler.
Duck, sit.
The school now works with 9 different therapy dogs.
Duck, come.
Helping kids gain confidence and independence.
Good boy.
Lambert is the only school in the state turning a therapy dog program
Nice to meet you.
into vocational training for kids with special needs.
To be on the cutting edge, the beginning of something on your 25th, 26th, 27th year is exciting.
Duck teaching everyone that it's never too late to learn something new.
It's changed my career.
Duck is changing what it means to succeed.
Oh my gosh, such a heartwarming story with Duck there. The kids, they wrote a book about working with Duck. They also started a business making homemade dog treats that they package, label, and sell.
A program that started as being just about dogs has taught them so much more here. They're really learning life skills here and also getting to bond. So incredible work that they're doing. And hopefully, I wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing more programs like this spread once they see the successes with Duck there.
Absolutely. And with Duck's success, when one door closes, another one opens.
That is always the case.
All right. A new job, well, it might not solve your money problems. Ron Jones is here with what's coming up new at 6.
Well, extra money doesn't hurt, right? But if you think about getting that new job is going to put more money in your pocket, add more to the family budget, think again. We have details on a new study that might surprise you.
When Atlanta's new public safety training center is discussed, often the focus is on police training. But today, when I went into one of Atlanta Fire's current training buildings, the conditions were so deplorable inside, I had to wear this suit to safely enter. I'll take you inside and talk with the Atlanta Fire chief about how the new training facility will also benefit firefighters ahead at 6.
All right, Teresa, we will see you then. And all new tonight, the stage is now set for Terra Theater's grand reopening. We're going to tell you when you can catch the screening of some of those classic films at this historic Atlanta landmark. Those stories are new and next when I join Jennifer on the desk at 6.
So far, the bulk of these showers are on the south side right now, still pretty much south of I-20. A couple of these now moving north of I-20 near Belvedere, a little bit more moderate activity. We've had a good coverage of light rain here in Midtown and just on the north side, but nothing particularly heavy. The more moderate showers have been just south of I-20. Some of those extending down into parts of Fayette County, Clayton County, Henry County, Southern Rockdale County, getting in on some of that. DeKalb County, you're getting in on some of those showers too. More spotty showers there on the north side, a few more on the south side, and they're trying to lift up toward the north. You know, here we are at getting closer to the end of May, and hurricane season begins on June 1st. Over the weekend, Nicole was telling you, and Melissa were telling you about this little disturbance here that at one point had a 10% chance of developing. Now the Hurricane Center is saying it's a 0% chance of developing. And when we say that, we mean a 0% chance of developing into a named system. The low is going to still be something to watch as it moves up closer to the Atlantic coastline as we get closer to the end of the week and also into the weekend. Stay with us. We'll talk more about our specific forecast coming up tonight at 6. First, though, take a look at your weather wow moment. Sherry Stover took this up in the North Georgia mountains. Isn't that a beautiful picture with the sun there and the horizon and the beautiful clouds, too? Thanks, Sherry, for sending that to us. Sherry's one of our 11 Alive community storm trackers. You can be a part of that group. It's really easy on Facebook. Just search 11 Alive Storm Trackers. You'll find the group, ask to become a member, and answer the membership questions, and you, too, can become a part of this exclusive local weather community.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. We are closing in on the unofficial start of summer here, the days of fun and the sun. So today, our Verify team is tackling the old wives' tale about a natural way to protect your skin from the sun. Here's Abby Larico.
Spending a little time lounging outside or even in a tanning bed is often touted as a way to get a sun-kissed summer glow that also helps prevent a biting sunburn. So does a so-called base tan actually prevent sun damage? We're shining a light on the topic with the help of these sources, and we can verify no, because that's ignoring what a base tan really is. Our experts all agree a base tan actually is sun damage.
No tan is a safe tan unless you're born with it. Anytime you're exposing to light, you're accumulating some form of damage.
Melanin, the pigment in your skin, is sent to the surface to protect your cells from further harm.
So it's a misconception that tanned, bronze skin is healthy skin. It's actually evidence that your skin needs a little bit more protection and might be at risk for skin cancer.
While a darker coloring could help your skin play defense against a sunburn, not by much. Several of our sources cite research showing that going out in the sun with a base tan is the equivalent of wearing an SPF 4 at most, when experts recommend wearing at least SPF 30 to prevent damage now and down the line.
So we can find skin cancer even in patients who haven't experienced things like sunburn.
And even people with naturally darker skin tones can get sun damage, like wrinkles or spots, and even skin cancer.
So we encourage everyone to sun protect.
If you're just looking for a pre-summer glow, sunless tanners like spray tans or at-home lotions are healthier options. But don't skip the sunscreen, as they also don't replace wearing SPF. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
Still ahead tonight, she was banned and didn't even know it. Why Russia says it's keeping people out of the country, and the response from former Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms.